guys, my name is Maria Ludwina and my student number is 1912140057. Today I want to share a little bit about my experience in CLS2 class throughout the semester. So in CLS2, I learned about three major topics. The first topic is stories or narrative, and my favorite one is Noah Baum, an Israel-American storyteller, which my favorite stories is about a father gives. In the story, talks about Bilal, a young boy in Pakistan who asks her father, "Why is there so much hate between the Muslims and the Hindus?" Because at that time there was a war between India and Pakistan. And then his father answered the questions when Bilal turned 13. He explains about Bahi, the book of their family's history, and Bilal saw his family member he knew, but also some of them that he didn't know. Then his father explained to him that they are his family too. His father said, "I want you to see that God lives in everything, and don't you ever let anyone tell you to hate another. Because you could see, they are all here Muslims, Sikhs, Hindu, Christians, Jews. They are all your family." And this is my favorite quote of the story. And overall, the story is very enchanted, and I really recommend it that to you to read it. The second topic is about mindsets. Uh, I am amazed with Lena Kay. She's totally an amazing woman. She can get up from her misery by changing her mindset of anything in her life. I realize it is not an easy job, especially when every blessing in my life has gone and replaced by sorrow. I think everyone also will uh, think the same thing as mine. And the last topic is entrepreneurship skills or mind. Yeah, entrepreneurship skills. And just like the others too, I have my own cup of tea among all the speakers, and she is Sahar Hashimi. She and her brother Bobby talk about her life in the coffee shop in New York. She said that she wasn't very good at law, and in the same time she is amazed with skinny lady in New York. And after she came back to UK, she cannot find a coffee shop just like in New York. Then Sahar and her brother thought about making a coffee shop. And until now, she is the owner of Coffee Republic, and it is the I think this is the first coffee shop in UK. And why this is interesting me, or why this interests me, because at that time she's so clueless about business or coffee shop, but she willingly to learn, she wants to try and to take a step by step, and finally she can make it, she can work it. And it's really inspire me to do everything in my life. And all the material presented are a real context happen in someone's life. That is why I can relate it into my life. And I can take a lot of lessons and moral values to apply in my daily life, such as respectful growth mindset, positive mindsets, and entrepreneurship skills or mindset.
The first topic is about figures who convey their message through stories. One of the figure is Bruhac. Bruhac taught people to love animals with stories in Native American style. The fairy tales he tells inspire his listeners to appreciate and love more, from the animal that near us to animals that have been protected by the government or animals that are in danger to preserve them. I would say that Bruce Hack stories is similar to my dad's story. When I about to go to sleep, my dad told me about the glory of the Majapahit era or any kingdom of Indonesia at that time, and also pewayangan story. The second topic is about speakers who tells that our mindset that shape who we are. Lena K is one of them. She was born in Kurdistan. Lena and her family came to London as refugees. She cannot speak English. Lena grew up with the thought of not having enough. In her 20s or mid 20s, she faced some problem. She had a turbulent relationship with her partner and her parents. She was going through depression and anxiety, and she had a brain tumor. She was thrown out of her home. She started to drink alcohol, smoking weed, and snorting cocaine. Lena K's transformation started from when she found a video on YouTube that changed her life forever. She was introduced to conscious creation and the concept that we create our own reality and are responsible for the results and circumstances in our lives. When her recovery was starting to happen at breakneck speed, Lena read the Bible, the Quran, and the Bhagavad Gita in the process of awakening. She found God walking in every religion, but she found it best when she walked alone with God. There is no one between her and the creator of the universe. Lena began to follow a practical approach to life. She decided not to complain about anything, always maintain gratitude, and have no hope of life. She begins to observe people without judgment and begins to experience her life as if nothing is wrong or nothing is right. She started telling herself that no one controlled her emotion but herself. Her contribution on humanity is she started her own coaching and training business. Then she became an international speaker. The things that I've got from Lena K's article and video that no one controls our emotion except ourselves. And we create our own reality and are responsible for the result and circumstances in our lives. From these two things, I can conclude that everything we think about will affect everything in our happiness and success of our life. And then the third topic is about speaker who delivered about entrepreneurship. One of the speaker is Peter Sage. At 2 p.m. on January 20th, 2017, Peter Sage was walking down the stairs of the High Court in London. He wearing handcuffs on his way to one of the most violent prisons in England. Peter was going to prison a week before he was running a successful company with over than 50 staff, helping thousands of people, and a week later he was down to virtually no staff and faced with losing everything he had, including his home. He taught us how powerful the power of acceptance is. The most people don't get to acceptance because they confuse it with apathy or resignation. But if we are complaining about something that has already happened, we are wasting our time as soon as I walked in there. He also implemented a zero tolerance policy on his own thinking of any thoughts that started with if only or what if. Why? Because you can go back and change anything. He also told us that start to try to shift your focus by asking better questions, by looking at what you can learn or who you can become, rather than looking what you could lose. If we can focus ourselves on being able to see the positive, no matter what, to tear the wrapping paper off and search for the gift in the adversity, then we all have the ability to live a life that is an example rather than a warning and in doing.
Hello everyone, my name is Angelique and my student number is 076. As you guys know and as you guys already mentioned before, there are three topics, namely stories, mindsets, and entrepreneurship that we already learned in our CLS2 class. I will talk about it one by one. The first and the most interesting topic for me is stories or narratives. I never get bored with this topic. I love stories. I love it when someone tells me a story, and I also love to tell a story. Out of all the stories that I've already heard, there's one incredible story that remains in my head until now. I don't know if you guys still already remember this, but it is a very interesting story. It is called Sammy Snail and the Greniers. This story is far more interesting than any other because it has a back sound in every scene of the story that helps me get in through the story. It tells about a snail named Sammy. His friends always made fun of his big antenna, but it turns out that his antenna is his power. Sammy helps his village from the red wolves with his antenna. From this story, I learned that each person has special qualities that need to be discovered and shared with others. And not only that, Sammy's grandmama also says that all of us also have a weak spot. Simply, it is about the strength and weakness of every person. We often judge people based on our perspectives. If we don't like them, unconsciously, they are bad. In our eyes, we close our eyes. We can only see the bad in them. We hate them. Meanwhile, we didn't realize that every person has also a good side that it hasn't discovered. I love this story a lot. The second topic is mindsets. Out of all the speakers, I do love Lena Kay. She is a figure that inspired me a lot. Let me tell about her briefly. At age 14, she was bullied, and in her mid-20s, she is diagnosed with depression, anxiety, panic attacks, PTSD, and also tumors. I couldn't even imagine myself being in that situation. All things in her life were unstable. She had a breakdown, of course, but guess what? She can get up. She changes her life, her mindset, and also her emotion towards a better state. What I remember is that she once said, "You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a creator of them. Life doesn't happen to you, but it happens from you." This hits me a lot because we often complain about our problems and play victim without realizing that the situation is coming from ourselves. Lena taught me that everything happens for a reason. It happens from ourselves, and we should be responsible for what we did. And the last topic is entrepreneurship. Even if actually this topic is the least interesting topic for me, I still have one interesting speaker. It is Bill Roche. He has an idea of implementing entrepreneurship for children. At first, I'm not so sure that children at that age can do entrepreneurship. But when I heard their stories, considering their struggles, anxieties, and of course skills that they obtain, I realized that entrepreneurship is an important skill and mindset that can be developed in children, and it can also help them in discovering their passions, talents, and also interest. All the topics, started from stories, mindset, until entrepreneurships, are very meaningful and are relatable with our daily life. I do love it when I learn about something, I can get lessons or moral values to apply it in my daily life.
Hello guys, my name is Andreas Panji and my student number is 077. Now I will share the word of three topics in critical listening class. The first one we have stories. From the stories topic, I remember there is one story from India and the story is about someone who having different religion with their ancestor. He found that fact after he reads the book that contains a family tree of him. The irony is right now, his religion and his ancestor religion is never get along. For me, this is interesting because the first one, I'm interested with anything that related with religion, and the second one is because the religion that presented in the story is different with mine. The word is that story, in my opinion, is there is nothing wrong with diversity because after all, we are all human and we are all the same. Next, from the mindset topics, I would like to say that many of them are related to my mindset, but I have the one mindset that the most of the people rarely have. It's called the power of acceptance from Peter Sage. It's called Sing Wish Ya Wish in Japanese. It's about accept the things that happened in the past and never regret it. To practice this kind of mindset, it is required to control our emotion in every situation. And then from the entrepreneur topic, I choose Peter Sage again because for me, the most interesting aspect from Peter Sage is self-mastery. If we can master self-mastery, we will think brightly and never lose control of ourselves, and we can also thinking the way to solve problem as calm as we can. We will never fail in the same problem because we always think before doing something.
The second question: how did the learning activities improve my English skills? So, there are a lot of activities in CLS too, like quizzes, forum discussion, and making podcasts also. So, quizzes develop my comprehension understanding. By doing the quizzes, I can analyze my own memory and also my understanding. Forum discussion develop my critical thinking and my writing skills. Consider what values I got from the stories or from today's learning. When I'm not seriously take a look or reflected, I think I will not get the answers. So I can easily tell a lie, but my moral will not allow me to do it. And group work developed my collaboration and communication skills towards others, especially when the group rapidly change every week. I learn something new from new people in that group or a new lesson to collaborate and communicate with others. And the last but not least is making podcasts. Making podcasts develops my speaking skills and my creativity. I'm pretty excited when I have an opportunity to talk about my opinion and concern about something. So I am just enjoying making podcasts as CLS two projects.
In my opinion, quizzes are very effective in showing the extent of my ability to listen to audio or video recordings in English. At the beginning of the semester, I need to find the text, and at the end of this semester, I try to do the quiz without looking at the text first. I think the group work is effective to compare what I get with what with my friends get. I can get new inputs from sharing with my friends. With this sharing, I am not ashamed to use English. And then, my opinion to discussion forums are almost as effective as quizzes and group work. Namely, to show how far we have understood a topic by sharing. Podcasting is a lot of fun because it is so different from any other task. This makes me not bored to do it.
Hi, back with me again. What I have learned from the quizzes, group work, discussion forum, podcast making, and etc. How did it improves my English skills? That's a lot. I've learned a lot. From the quizzes and discussion forum, I learned that it improves my understanding. If I only listen to the recordings without doing the check for understandings, I think it will only listen rather than listening. You guys know the difference, right, between listen and listening. I know that I should do the check for understandings, so I do listen to it over and over again. I also gain new vocabularies through the recordings. I can improve my listening skills and I think also my reading skills, especially when I get help from the transcript. Because, yes, as you guys know, we listen while reading the transcript. Also, the discussion on the Zoom meeting. I would say that this is always making me nervous. But guess what? This is the point where I improve my speaking skills. I enjoy it. I get to share what I understand from the recordings. It is very challenging. And the last activity is the group work and also podcast making. It develops my creativity and also speaking skills again, I guess. I enjoy it a lot. Besides all of the improvements, I also face difficulties. I think it is already being discussed in the last CLS meeting. It is hard for me and also I think for the others to remember all the materials for the long term. I would say that it will be far easier for me to remember the materials that have interesting topics. It is hard for me also to remember everything because the number of our materials is very much. Yeah, here's the challenge that all of us need to overcome.
Number two, the activities in critical listening class this semester is fun and easy to follow. Some activities have different benefit, and when we talk about this critical listening and speaking class benefit, I will say that this class improved my English a lot. Not only my English skill, it is also confidence, discipline, and critical thinking, and also responsibility. The quizzes can remind me about the material from YouTube videos or listening section that have been provided before the class. And after that, in a Zoom class, sometimes we have sharing section. And for me, the sharing section is very important because we can know something with different perspective. Next, group discussion makes me disciplined and accept others people's opinion. And then podcast making can help me improve my speaking skills and makes me confident with myself.
Number three, what changes or transformations did you identify to have taken place in your own life throughout the semester? It's quite what is it? It's quite interesting questions. Yes, I changed a lot. I start to be more disciplined than before, and I can manage my time better than before. I also learn how to collaborate with various kind of person and situations. Like I've mentioned before in the group work that rapidly change every week, and I learn various type of person because of that. And from this group works, also my creativity and problem solving skills are growing. Yeah, this is quite interesting for me also because um, I ever heard that problem solving is one of the life skills. And in this case, I learned about it. I develop it in my life. I develop it in myself. Just like it's quite challenging and difficult, but also fun in the same time.
Discipline is really needed in this class because almost every day there will be an audio or video recording and also a quiz to check the extent of our understanding of the recording. Our social development is also formed by sharing with friends and lectures. Collaboration in random group makes us learn that in the future we will also work with someone who we doesn't know their background before we know them. With this method, we can learn to socialize. Although my discipline is still lacking, thanks to critical listening and speaking to, I have learned to be more disciplined.
Okay, the third question's about changes or transformations. Okay, I do have changes or transformations in my daily routine. In our class, we have a weekly routine which is listening to the material, then do the check for understandings. Oh, we also get to generate our own questions, right? This routine has built me to become more disciplined. I can manage my time better than before in doing the assignments. I learned to manage my time so that I can finish all of these activities prior to the class. And also, just like what I've already said before in the WhatsApp call with Sir Marcus, the collaborative works shape me to become a person that is less stubborn. When I work with other colleagues that I never worked with before, I learn to listen more. I learn to work with different kinds of person, with different kinds of ideas. All of us must be agree that it is more comfortable to work with someone who we already know. But if we only do that, we only stay in our comfort zone. We learn nothing, we get nothing. I also learn to solve the problem because sometimes we have a passive member that needs to be reminded over and over again. Sometimes, speaking truthfully, it is draining our energy. But I would say that it is very challenging.
The significant changes that I felt is how I see my classmates. Maybe this is not about learning English, but still, this is the biggest transformation that I have in this semester. Back then, when we are having offline class, I only have like half of my classmates is my close friend. And at the time, I think the other half of my classmates is not interesting. Yeah, I'm not interested with them. But after we are having online class and also discussion group on Zoom, I'm interested with everyone in my class because I think we are different and there are many perspectives that I can learn from all my classmates.
The last question, what projections can you make with regard to your own well-being in the future? It's pretty interesting. My answer is never stop learning. Having a growth mindset with which value and enjoy the process is important. Always trying something new and never afraid of failure. Like, don't think too much. I know it is good to prepare everything well, but it is as important as take a step of your plan. Try it first. Just think about today. What I'm going to do today, what problem I face today, what solution should I create, and what lessons I can learn today. I think um, it's not easy, but uh, when you try to take a step first, you can learn from it and you can be more prepared in another steps. But when you never try, you never know. That's it. And the second thing is, I start to believe that we attract people with the same energy as ours. Actually, I'm not realize it just now, but uh, it is because of CLS2 class. I think I'm more sure with it. Hence, it is important having a positive mindset to attract people with the same mindset to come in our life. So I've observed my own my own experience and my own daily life, and I can conclude that people around me have the same energy as mine. So I think it's not a consequence that they come into my life or they'll be around in my life, but I attract them with my energy, and that's how universe are work. I think that's it from me. Thank you. Bye bye.
I will project myself in the future by what I am doing now. My hobbies are making digital illustration and making videos. At this time, my busy life apart from college is that I am trying to create a graphic design service businesses. Judging from what I am doing right now and my hobbies, I think in the future I will expand my graphic designer services, which I have started from now on.
Hi, I think this is the last answer from me. It is about the projections I can make with regard to my own well being in the future. Okay, so from me, remember that everything happens for a reason. Don't give up easily, and keep in mind that your attitude is your mindset. If I face a problem, I would say that it is okay to complain first. It is normal for a human being to complain. All of us know that sometimes life becomes sucks. But after complaining, I should fight harder. I will enjoy the challenge and face it. Because every time I can defeat a problem, I will become stronger. Bit by bit. I believe it. I know it will be hard, but I believe that everything happens for a reason, and for that reason, we should face it, not running from it. Just remember, there's always a rainbow after the rain. Other than that, I will focus on what I want, what is my dreams, my vision, and strive for it. Life doesn't always give us what we want. It gives us what we believe. So it is important to understand how we feel and what we believe. At last, even if there's a lot of challenges waiting for us, keep in mind that don't forget to be happy. Enjoy it. I remember once saying that if you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain. That's all from me. Thank you.
Learn new things while still young. I think it will help us a lot in the future. And while learning new things, don't forget to practice our last lesson. It's about mindset. It's about growth mindset. Don't forget to practice growth mindset principle so we can get maximal result. Critical thinking skill also important to solve our problem in the future. And also I will always remember the power of acceptance by Peter Sage. And then I will be real in every situation. That's all.